Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jayo Rama Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jai Vishnu Prabhupada Mahamsa Parivajata Acharya Stutra Shatra Srishma Vistavan Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Iskon Founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Bhakti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Exegos Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Chama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki
Jai.
Sri Vrindavan Mayapur Dham Ki
Jai.
Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki
Jai.
Ram Jagannath Ki Slava Veda Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Glories to the Son of the Lord.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Son.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Son.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Bhagavatam? No. They have to Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, so Canto 5, Chapter 19, Text 24.
Much left?
Just one.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh. Should have taken my... Can you give me my phone, please? Thank you. Okay. One sec. Okay. Na yatra vaikunta katha sudha paga.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga.
Nayatra vaikunta katha sudha paga.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga.
Nasadavo bhagavatasthadashraya. Nasadavo bhagavatasthadashraya. Nayatra yagyeshmaka mahotsava. Nayatra yagesha makha mahotsava. Suresha loko pinavaisa sevyatam. Suresha loko pinavaisa sevyatam. Nayatra vaikunta katha sudha bhaga. Nasadavo bhagavatasthadashraya. Nayatra yagyesha makha mahotsava. Suresha loko pinavaisa sevyatam. Please chant.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga. Nasadavo Bhagavatasthadashraya. Nasadavo Bhagavatasthadashraya. Nayatra Yagesha Makha Mahotsava. Nayatra Yagesha
Masa mahotsava.
Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam. Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga. Nasadhavo Bhagavatasthadashraya. Nasadhavo Bhagavatasthadashraya. Nayatra Yajnesha Makha Mahotsava. Nayatra Yagesha Makha Mahotsava. Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam. Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga.
Nasadhavo Bhagavatasthadashraya.
Nasadhavo Bhagavatasthadashraya.
Nayatra Yanesha Makha Mahotsava.
Nayatra Yagyesha Makha Mahotsava.
Suresha Loko Pinavaisa Sevyatam.
Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam.
Very good.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga.
Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga.
Nasadhavo Bhagavatasthadashraya.
Nasadhavo Bhagavatasthadashraya.
Nayatra Yanesha Makha Mahotsava.
Nayatra Yagyesha Makha Mahotsava.
Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam.
Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam.
Na, not. Yatra, where. Vaikunta Katha Sudha Apagaha. The nectarian rivers of discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is called Vaikunta, or one who drives away all anxiety.
Ooh.
Can you repeat that? Okay, let's go slowly. The nectarian rivers of discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is called Vaikunta, or one who drives away all anxiety. Na, nor, sadavaha, devotees, Bhagavata, always engaged in the service of the Lord. Tad ashrayaha, who are sheltered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Na, nor, yatra, where. Yagya Isha, Makaha, the performance of devotional service to the Lord of Sacrifices. Maha Utsavaha, which are actual festivals. Suresha Loka, a place inhabited by the denizens of heaven. Api, although. Na, not. Vai, certainly. Saha, that. Sevyatam, be frequented. Okay. Translation. An intelligent person does not take interest in a place, even in the topmost planetary system, if the pure Ganges of topics concerning the Supreme Lord's activities does not flow there. If there are not devotees engaged in service on the banks of such a river of piety, or if there are no festivals of Sankirtan Yagya to satisfy the Lord, especially since Sankirtan Yagya is recommended in this age. Okay, purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's a little bit long purport, so I'll read it slowly so we can imbibe it. It's only one paragraph, so normally Srila Prabhupada addresses, he goes paragraph by paragraph addressing the different topics that are there in the verse. But it seems like here he's just going for the whole entire verse. Giving this not too long purport, but a little bit long. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the land of Bharatvarsha, specifically in Bengal, in the district of Nadia, where Navadvip is situated. It is therefore to be concluded, as stated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that within this universe, this earth is the best planet. And on this planet, the land of Bharatvarsha is the best. In the land of Bharatvarsha, Bengal is still better. In Bengal, the district of Nadia is still better. And in Nadia, the best place is Navadvip, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there to inaugurate the performance of the sacrifice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Shastras recommend Krishna Varnam Tsa Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayair Jajantihi Sumedasaha. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always accompanied by his very confidential associates, such as Sri Nityananda, Sri Gadadhar, and Sri Advaita, and by many devotees like Srivas. They are always engaged in chanting the name of the Lord and are always describing Lord Krishna. Therefore, this is the best among all the places in the universe. The Krishna consciousness movement has established its center in Mayapur, the birthsite of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to give man the great opportunity to go there and perform a constant festival of Sankirtan Yagya, as recommended herein, Yagesha Makha Mahotsavaha, and to distribute prasad to millions of hungry people hankering for spiritual emancipation. This is the mission of the Krishna consciousness movement. Chaitanya Bhagavat confirms this as follows, quote, "One should not desire to be elevated even to a place in the heavenly planetary systems if it has no propaganda to expand the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No trace of Vaishnavas, pure devotees of the Lord, and no festivals for spreading Krishna consciousness. It would be better to live perpetually cramped within the airtight bag of a mother's womb, where one can at least remember the lotus feet of the Lord, than to live in a place where there is no opportunity to remember his lotus feet. I pray not to be allowed to take birth in such a condemned place." End of quote. Excuse me, it's a quote from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, right. Similarly, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the inaugurator of the Sankirtan movement, anyone who performs Sankirtan to please the Lord is very, very glorious. Such a person has perfect intelligence, whereas others are in the ignorance of material existence. Of all the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedic literatures, the performance of Sankirtan Yagya is the best. Even the performance of 100 Ashvamedh sacrifices cannot compare to the sacrifice of Sankirtan. According to the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, if one compares Sankirtan Yagya to other Yagyas, he is a Pashandi, an infidel, and is liable to be punished by Yamaraj. There are many Mayavadis who think that the performance of Sankirtan Yagya is a pious activity, similar to the performance of the Ashvamedha Yagya and other such pious functions. But this is a Nama Aparad. Chanting of the holy name of Narayan and chanting of other names are never equal, despite what Mayavadis think. Nayatra Vaikunta Kata Sudha Bhaga Nasadavo Bhagavatas Tadashraya Nayatra Yagyesha Makha Mahotsava Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam. An intelligent person does not take interest in a place, even in the topmost planetary system, if the pure Ganges of topics concerning the Supreme Lord's activities does not flow there. If there are not devotees engaged in service on the banks of such a river of piety, or if there are no festivals of Sankirtan Yagya to satisfy the Lord, especially since Sankirtan Yagya is recommended in this age. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Kananchana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So interesting enough, Srila Prabhupada takes advantage of giving a purport just talking on the Sankirtan Yagya. And yes, he's actually saying that Sankirtan Yagya is superior to any other Yagyas. There's lots of prescriptions in the scriptures of Yagyas. Sacrifice where we offer something to Krishna. So There is in other, of course, other ages, you have the fire. Fire is considered the tongue of God, one of the tongues of God, and you offer different substances or things into the fire. It's interesting to note that in the first canto, I remember reading that Yudhisthira Maharaj, for example, he was the emperor of the whole world, the whole planet. And it's mentioned there that he would touch auspicious items, like sandalwood paste. Even gold is mentioned there. It's actually considered an auspicious item if you, of course, use it in the Lord's service. There's a mention, I can't remember all of them, but some of them, just by touching them, those auspicious items, actually, it is very auspicious. So it seems like in this age we are so fallen that if we simply can offer our breath, then that's considered already, emulate the sounds of the Krishna's names. That's already considered very, very intelligent. Here the word intelligence is used. So Srila Prabhupada many times expressed his surprise that the chanting of Hare Krishna is so simple. But people go for these, complicated processes like sitting there for hours, meditating, and do all kinds of things that take so much effort. But actually the benefit is much less than just chanting. But people wouldn't take it, which is surprising. Why don't you take such a simple process? Because Srila Prabhupada explains they're attached to their own ways, right? We're attached to our own intelligence. This is the problem. We chalk out. In English it's called chalk out our own, right, process, our own way. We're attached to our own intelligence. But Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that we should surrender to that, our intelligence, to His intelligence. That is the process. Srila Prabhupada makes an interesting statement that actually you don't have to be very intelligent because what you have to do, according to Bhagavad Gita, is you have to agree. You don't have to surrender. You don't have to figure out yourself how to surrender. You just have to agree to surrender, actually. But people don't take it. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, please do this, don't do this, and so on. Please come to that stage. Don't stay in ignorance. Come to the light, right? And so on and so on. Get up early. What is night for the... what is it called? Materialist is a day for the illuminated sage, something like those lines. So yes, do this, don't do that. Don't kill innocent animals, and so on. Bhagavad Gita is full of rules and regulations, describing the different laws of the universe and how to follow them. It's not a scripture for people who, I have faith in God. I just have faith. No, Bhagavad Gita goes much beyond that. It explains the different laws of the universe. Prabhupada told his disciples, one of these laws, for example, is that when humanity cooperates with the demigods, in other words, when they execute their prescribed duties, which is interesting because prescribed duties means you have to follow what is the tendency of your body and mind. You execute those like somebody who has a strong inclinations, for example, towards care and organization, like a kshatriya, right? So he should be engaged in that sense. Somebody has a strong inclination towards teaching, right? And transparency, honesty, like that. And he should be a brahmana. And he should be engaged according to that. If you swap and you actually do the duty of some other varna, that's actually dangerous, Krishna says, because like in Kali Yuga, the Shudras take the posts of brahmanas, teach all kinds of nonsense. Like scientists, right? They supposedly the guides of society, and they teach all this nonsense that actually destroys the devotional spirit in people. Like they write all these books on psychology and this topic and that topic, and they don't understand how much harm they are causing. Like Srila Prabhupada explained that all this technology, for example, this technology of airplanes, and of course, in modern days we all have all these gadgets of mass distraction, right? What is that? Cell phones and tablets and things like that. This is actually not science. This is handicraft. It's there for what is it called? Art and handcraft. Srila Prabhupada says it's there to satisfy the senses. And that's typical Shudra. The Shudras, they like to satisfy their senses. They can't control their senses like the Brahmanas. Real science means you control your senses and you understand Brahman. But this technology and this effort, it looks very sophisticated and intelligent, supposedly intelligence to develop all these things, but actually they're only there for sense gratification, and therefore this is not science. This is art. Prabhupada calls it art or handicraft. It's there to facilitate sense gratification. So if one varna does the work of another varna, actually it becomes very dangerous. You can see now they've developed these atom bombs, and since I don't know how many decades, any second the bombs fall on our heads, and that's it, right? Billions of lives wiped out. That's when knowledge comes into the wrong hands. So real knowledge actually means to understand the difference between the body or the mind and the soul, right? That's body and mind. Body means senses, Prabhupada says. Many times we say, you're not the body. We say, yeah, of course I'm not the body. And then we run out and, buy chocolate, cheese and chips from the supermarket, right? Because we need some sense gratification, right? Yeah, we're not the body. But actually, the impulses of your senses, that's what you think you are. That's the identification we want to retract. We want to get free of. And yes, the most easiest way is the Sankirtan Yagya, to come to this, actually finding out the soul with our consciousness, finding out the soul and depend on the soul and super soul. Dhanush Prabhu Ki Jai. So to find out what is the soul and how to depend on the super soul. But yes, people don't take it. They, what is this chanting, But actually this is the way, most easiest process. Look at us. I mean, we're the proof. We haven't followed, what have we been before coming to the Krishna consciousness movement? And within how little years have we become so much transformed, It's just unbelievable. The holy name is we can't really see it, but every time we get up early in the morning for Mangalarti and then chant our rounds, especially Prabhupada said, one devotee asked him, what is the secret to distribute lots of books? Srila Prabhupada says, chant your 16 rounds in one go. And I can tell you from experience, when I was doing this book distribution in the Los Angeles airport, the airport back in 2002 was still, there was two airports left in all of the United States. All the other airports got shut down slowly by authorities, right? But the LAX, Los Angeles airport, was still open. And so we went there every day, or 5.5 days a week, to distribute Prabhupada's books. And it was so intense, you couldn't believe it. Like, people rushing. First of all, people rushing. Second, they're being Americans, right? Which are kind of open-minded people, but at the same time also pretty fanatic. I mean, and ignorant, I would say. Extremely materialistic, most materialistic in the world. So they're rushing, right, to get their airplane, and you hit them up with a book. Excuse me, sir, are you flying out or are you coming in? But because you look a little bit official with a badge, they thought you were working in the airport. They say, oh, I'm flying out, right? Then you got them, you stop them, give them the book. We're showing these to all the people in a rush. You look like they're in a rush. Oh, yes. You heard about stress? Yeah, of course I heard about stress. So, okay, have a look. This is about yoga, how to become more peaceful. Oh, thank you. We're monks. You heard about the monks? You go like this. You rub a little bit your head here. You heard about the monks? Yeah. We just ask for a donation. So you make him say twice yes. You heard about stress? Yes. You heard about the monks? Yes. Can you give a donation? No. But that's the psychology we would use. Don't make them say yes 3 times. Don't make them say yes once. No. It is surprising, but it works. You make them say twice yes, and then you say, can you give a donation? Something like that. And lots of people go, yeah, okay, all right, I give you a donation. But the fact is, actually the point I wanted to make is, when you get up and chant your rounds before Mangalarti, then you are unstoppable. You wouldn't believe it. But I tell you honestly, I mean, it's so intense, people rushing by and shouting at you, and you don't know if they have guns. My wife, she was doing the Los Angeles airport, and one guy just got shot because he didn't. There was a problem with the ticket. The guy took out a gun, shot him, and then the guys behind the counter took out guns and shot him. Like that, just like that. And then, okay, everybody hit the floor. Less one devotee. His name is Jaiguranga, my friend. He was a book distributor in those days. Very expert. He was the only one still standing. And he just walked out of the airport. And then they called the Sankirtan leader, told him, and he just said, okay, wait a little bit and then go back. Hare Krishna. Anyway, crazy things going on, in these airports, people rushing, anything less than a religious book would be on their minds, right? And you stop them and say, this will really help you. And yes, okay, take some money, and they run off. But when we would, at least half of the rounds, or even better if you chant your rounds before Mangalarti, you just become, people look at you like, I don't know, there's no other explanation that Krishna is in the heart, and if you have a strong sadhana, you just cut through the layers of gross material energy, subtle material energy, and go straight to their heart, and they just can't believe it. They don't. It's like it's unless you've done it, you wouldn't believe it. People, yes, okay, yeah, of course I give you a donation. Very easy. It becomes very easy just because you have a very strong sadhana. And well, if you can't chant them before Mangalartik, then chant after them. But Prabhupada recommended 16 in one go. It's not a joke. It works. We would chant our rounds very early, go to the airport, and it became very easy. Whereas you don't chant very nice rounds, here, and then you go to the people just run over you. Because their material energy is stronger than your desire, based on the spiritual energy, to give them the holy name and Krishna consciousness. So it really depends on our desire to give Krishna consciousness and cut through these layers of, if we want to preach, it really means that we have to cut through these layers of material energy. And that means we have to become strong on the spiritual energy. Because we have free will. I mean, Krishna wants to give the holy name to everybody. It's there. But we are the instrument, right? He's the real doer, but we have a little bit of free will to actually execute his will. So that's us. We're out there with the books, right? And if you have prepared your mind has to become peaceful first. Your mind has to become ecstatic first. Your body and mind and senses have to surrender. And then it becomes easy that the mercy flows. So there's two. There's Krishna and there's us. But we still have to agree to surrender. And then it becomes easy. Krishna consciousness becomes very easy. Whatever you do, not just books. But if you agree and subdue your mind, bombard your mind with the holy name from the early morning, things become very easy. Very easy. Whereas you don't do that, you get up late and you chant some rounds here and there in the bus and here, driving and whatever. Sometimes, you can see in front of the TV and while cooking, whatever. Yeah, of course, you finish your 16 rounds. That's a big accomplishment. As a grihasta, sometimes you have children, you get distracted. That's just reality. But you will see, it becomes tough. The material energy is it's like the soldiers are what you call that, are closing in. Like when the Germans went into Stalingrad, right? And the Red Army surrounded them and shut the connection behind them. And then they closed in. And I think 5,000 soldiers survived. But like that. Maya is always around us. And if we're not strong in our sadhana, then she closes in. And then suddenly you're alone there, surrounded by Maya. So better keep a good sadhana, quality rounds. So, yes, we were there in the Los Angeles airport, and I could see book distribution is a very beautiful service in the sense that you can see Bhagavad Gita very clearly. Krishna is there, the books are there, you're the instrument, and Krishna is the real doer. He is giving the books. You just have to, or in order to express it differently from being the instrument, don't be the impediment. We are the impediment if we're not. That's actually what's happening. Whatever we do, also in the temple, if you don't have chant nice rounds and focus on your service and Krishna consciousness, your sadhana, you become an impediment. Maybe you don't think so, but you actually are. Unless we are become pure devotees, we are an impediment to Krishna's desire. That's what's going on. We say, we're positive, right? We say, be the instrument. But to make the point a little bit more emphatic and to wake up a little more, don't be the impediment. Our mind and senses, they're the impediments. And Krishna's desire cannot flow. Krishna is there in the heart. And He's there in the heart of the other person that we preach to. And the person has the free will to say no. But if our desire is stronger, Because Krishna is telling him, surrender, give him a donation, do what he says. But the person is nah. But if your desire is stronger, and like Prabhupada, he tricked the hippies in the early days. He would say, these 45 minutes kirtans, and we would tell them, you get high when you chant, right? They liked that high, becoming high, and then they would say, like Allen Ginsberg, famous musician, he would say, come to the morning program to can't remember the word, to calm down on re-entry, something like that. Is when the drug, the drug comes, you come down from the drug, then you do a kirtan, not to feel too bad, because not after the drug you normally have what they call what do they call it? There's a special word. The hangover or the down thing, right? You have a high and then you have a down. So in order to avoid that down, come to the morning kirtan, right? And Prabhupada would say, yes, you get high when you chant. So he tricked them. His desire was so strong to make them Krishna conscious. And imagine, like the Bowery, 1966. It's not the best. Like you wouldn't like feel like, okay, this is the best place to preach Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada did it. He knew that the frustrated youth were there. So he's brought Lord Chaitanya's mercy to the West, the chanting, and look, after 60 years, here we are, 2026, 60 years later, after Prabhupada started under a tree with a pair of kartals, and here we are. And how many devotees are there? So the chanting is very simple, and it is very effective at the same time. Yes, I was just gonna... Oh yeah. Los Angeles airport. It was very ecstatic. Now the airport is... And I don't think they're doing it anymore, but it was very intense, and very purifying at the same time. Okay, I'll finish... What time is it? 8:20, okay. I'll finish here. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the nice inspiration and nice realizations. Please could you tell maybe at least one or two stories from the airport book distribution?
One or two stories about book distribution in the airport of Los Angeles. Yes?
A small other question. How you enter actually? For example, in Germany, you cannot enter the airport. Actually, it's not possible. You have to have a flight ticket or something. How you enter actually?
How we did in those days in Los Angeles? Well, the devotees were making a court case which took 30 years. They were doing a court case. And Los Angeles was one of the last, because it's California, it's one of the most liberal. But there were some other... The devotees were doing the court case, and there were all these other charities taking advantage of that too. So you had to get around these other very aggressive, sometimes Christians, Muslims, who were doing their thing too, because religious freedom, right? And then you had the airport police against you. Yes, it was tough, I tell you. They would come up to you and interrupt and spoil your, And then every 2 minutes, on the loudspeakers, attention passengers, don't give money to any solicitors. This airport does not sponsor their activities. You're talking to a guy, right? And then, attention passengers, do not give money to solicitors. This airport does not sponsor their activities. And you go, so as soon as the speaker would go on, you would say something to distract the person. And by the way, this is also about the blah, 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 you know. So he wouldn't hear the... But yes, they were really... The airport was really trying to get us out. And then we... Of course, free speak. America is very strong about free speak and religious freedom. So we won the court case. And then 2 months later, 9/11, bang. Hit. 9/11 hit. And they threw us out of the airport. But they couldn't throw us out entirely. We still could do the check-ins. Not inside, where you board the plane. We were doing the inside, where you board the plane. But they kicked us out from us, means the devotees, and then we were just doing the check-ins. But it was still going on. We were still doing it. But my GBC, His Holiness Virabhaksha Prabhu, he said that Krishna must be God, because after what happened in 9/11, you know, that whole thing that went down, to not be able to stop us from distributing books in the airport in Los Angeles, that means Krishna is God, because it's just unimaginable. How is that possible? But somehow or other, we were still there, even after 9/11. Everybody running around doing checks, you know, police everywhere, afraid of bombs. And, you know, we had our boxes there and with the books, you know. And the whole, you know, everybody running around, they couldn't stop us. Krishna is God. You know, the airport belongs to him. So there's nothing you can do. So one devotee, he's very ecstatic pastimes about book distribution. If you want to listen to it, is of course, what's his name? Oh no, I forgot his name. No, Ashish, what's his name? He's in the memories. Oh no. Anyway, DVD, it's the same memories. Who else is there on those memories? Pragosh, yes. Listen to those memories. Have you listened to his memories about book distribution? Pragosh?
Was he in LA?
Yeah. Well, he was in America in the days when the devotees during Prabhupada's time.
Yeah.
He was doing the airports. Wow, so nectarian. So nectarian. He's like, you see in Prabhupada's time, the devotees, the police was after them, you know, get out of here, and the devotees wouldn't stop, because they were convinced that the airport belongs to Krishna, and we have the right to give people this knowledge, right? Prabhupada told them, this is not, you know, you guys are bothering people. This is not botheration. Who has asked me all these signboards, buy this, do this, all these illicit things, damageable things? Who has asked me if I want those signboards all over the place, Prabhupada says. So this is bothering. We're educating. This is education. We're helping people to get free of unwanted tendencies, right? We're helping people to get, to become, to have families with integrity. Right? We tell people to get rid of drugs. We tell people how not to waste their money in gambling. And we show them how to be healthy. And this is, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have the right to educate people. And the airport belongs to Krishna. So this policeman came and put him, you know, took him to the office and put him against the wall and said, "You get out of here," you know. And he said, "I'm not getting out of here. You can do whatever. I don't have a family. I don't have any. I'll just keep doing." So the guy said, "So you're not going to leave?" And I said, "No. You can beat me up. I'll be back. I'll just keep going." Then so he started telling him to that guard, to that policeman. He said, "You have a look at these books and you tell me what's wrong about them, what's bad about them." So they met again a few days later, a day later, and the guy said, "Okay, all right. The problem is I have a boss, and whenever you see me coming, just sit down. So on the camera, we don't see each other. Okay? I said, yes, got a deal. So like that, the devotees were very strong, determination. And where does this determination, enthusiasm come from? Associating with strong devotees. Reading Prabhupada's books, of course. Becoming pure. You had a question. Oh, let's hear it first.
Not very related, but do you know other tongues of God than fire? You said fire is one of the tongues of God. Is there any other tongue?
The brahmanas, when you feed brahmanas or devotees, when they eat, it's like God is eating. That's why, especially Indians, but devotees in general, are very anxious to feed devotees. Because that's the tongue of God. The fire is the tongue of God. Yes. What was I going to say? Yes. Pure devotees, especially if you feed a pure devotee. So what's a pure devotee? A pure devotee is the one who just wants to please spiritual master. Whatever spiritual master says, he does. And he's engaged 100%. Doesn't matter if he's advanced or not so advanced. The main thing is he's showering. He's under the shower of the divine energy. Once you're in the shower, does it matter if you were dirty or very dirty or less dirty? No. If you're in the shower, you're 100% engaged in Krishna service and pleasing the spiritual master, doing whatever he says, then you're a pure devotee. Aren't you? When you're 100% pleasing, doing service all day long, doing whatever the authority tells you what you have to do, you're pleasing spiritual master, whatever he says you do, then you're a pure devotee. According to Prabhupada. That's why we see these photos with hundreds of disciples. Prabhupada says they're all pure devotees. And you see them today, and there's not many around. So some are not pure devotees anymore. But in those days, they were pure devotees. Like the man who was talking to Prabhupada and says, yeah, now, it's all going well because you're here. But once you're gone, then these young devotees, they will have problems. And Prabhupada said, doesn't make any sense. It's like somebody gives you a plate of food and you say, I'm not going to eat it because tomorrow it's going to be stale. I'm not eating it. Tomorrow it's going to be stale. Doesn't make any sense. So if they're following 100%, they're engaged in accepting the spiritual man, that's a pure devotee. He can be whatever he wants in the future, okay, but now he's a pure devotee. He's following 100%. Yes, sorry. What was your question? What was your question?
So my question was, so what other tongues of that? So
okay.
Other...
Yes, pure devotees. If you feed a pure devotee, doesn't matter if he's joined the temple yesterday, if he's convinced that Prabhupada is the bona fide representative of Krishna and you have to surrender to Krishna. If you feed that person, if you preach to that person, whatever, you get a lot of benefit. Why do you think the movement was spreading so quick and so strongly in the early days? Because these new devotees, they had so much faith in Prabhupada. One man, he was reciting shlokas in Bhagavad Gita in India, and Prabhupada said, very nice, but you know what's the difference between them and you? And he said, no. He said, they do whatever I say. They will do it immediately. You can know so many Sanskrit verses and blah, 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 blah. But if you don't do what the spiritual master is asking you to do, then what's your position? Whereas these people, they come from families, meat eaters, cow eaters, sex mongers, how Prabhupada would say it, gamblers. But they've taken my word seriously, and therefore they're pure devotees. Yes. Can you read?
My question is, how can we make our sadhana stronger? Because you mentioned in the beginning that we can chant our runs before Mangalarti, for example. But
Yes.
how do we know how many
Do you want to try?
Yeah. To pick up the 2 areas, right?
Try it.
Yeah, but how do we know how many rounds also? Like, how can we make our sadhana stronger?
Quality. Focus on quality. How to make the sadhana stronger? Focus on quality.
And how can we,
Focus on quality.
yeah,
Improve the quality, like chant with more pronunciation, better pronunciation. Listen more to the syllables. Krishna, Rama, Hare. Do you know what Hare? When you say the word Hare, Krishna, you're actually addressing Hara. Have you read the purport that Prabhupada gives to the Mahamantra? Yeah, okay, read that. Study Shikshastakam. If you want to chant the holy name with better and better, then learn the Shikshastakam by heart and see where you're at. It starts off glorifying the holy name, glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years. Yes, I'm there. Accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. Oh, okay. Maybe a little bit to go with that one. I'm not free of the fire in my heart yet, which, once I extinguish it, I actually become free of having to take rebirth again. But we're working on it, right? And then it goes and goes on. The Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It's the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. All right. Do you feel transcendental bliss sometimes? Sometimes? Yes, good. So your first verse, okay. But now it comes. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In those transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. And there's not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but... Do you know the translation?
that I don't have the taste for that.
I don't have attraction. So you work on that? Hare Krishna! Please give me more attraction. Hara. Hara is the mother, right? And Krishna is the father. Please give me more attraction for the holy name. So learn the Shikshastakam. That's my recommendation. All the songs.
Just go
And go on books if you can. Yes.
Seriously? Can I just listen to this Prabhupada because it's so inspiring? Just 2 minutes. When Prabhupada, so this devotee Prabhupada disciple, he speaks about how they saw Srila Prabhupada. Oops.
Yeah, listen to this. This is a man with more than 40 years of...
We got a deal. And I shook his hand. And we had that kind of authority. We felt that we had this authority because Prabhupada was absolutely cracking the whip. He was cracking the whip in the most loving, wonderful way. That we were, it was impossible to say no to Prabhupada. Because he was literally like the king and the general. The book distributors especially, we saw him in that generalship, kingly way, probably more so than maybe others, because that was the relationship that we had. And in Chicago, there were so many different situations where We got arrested in Chicago. We got arrested in Denver. We got arrested in Hawaii, both on book distribution and Harinam. In New York, we used to get chased constantly by the cops in LaGuardia Airport, till finally we kind of struck a deal with them. They gave us an area to work, and I used to bring the cop every Friday. I used to bring him a cheesecake, and when I failed to bring him a cheesecake, he would come out and look for me, and he would get upset. He would say, "Hey, where's my cheesecake?" And I know, because I met devotees from, when I went to Mayapur in 75 and 76, I met devotees, men, brahmacharis from Australia, from England, from Germany, from Sweden, and from other places, but France. And they were all cut out of the same wood. And they all had stories of, how hard they were pushing to distribute those books. Truthfully, we were pushing much more than we pushed since. And
It goes on and on.
we didn't care.
I wanted to see.
And a lot of devotees will look back now and say, that was wrong to do, or that really yielded the wrong result, or didn't make any friends, or whatever, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you look at this
Anyway.
country today,
If you want to get inspired, have a look at those memories.
But somewhere he's saying, Prabhupada, he was like, whoever comes, I will, he showed up with guns blazing, with guns blazing. And he was like the Muhammad Ali of spiritual life, whoever comes out will beat you, like that kind of mood comes through.
Uh-huh.
I don't find it.
Yep. Well,
Yeah, it's in the Proverbs.
you have to be determined, that's for sure. If you want to do books, you have to be very determined. Anyway, one last question? Or everything is clear? We've gone over with time. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Adi Keshav Guru ki
Jai.
Please give me
Yes, we will.
Oh, it was yesterday, I went to bed.
No, of course. And I will really come to my promotion. Yeah.
And later see you later.
Yes. Anyway, I think I will bring the Zoom lecture. There is a Zoom lecture with this one. At one.
So then I'll come for someone.
Ekadashiti. Please give it this way.
You should not be concerned because you're not eating anything and you're like this, you know. It's not very healthy. Do you want I carry more food?
Yes, thank
Or do you, I don't know,
Thank you very much.
and you're not coming for breakfast, huh? Oh. But you are like calling on breakfast.
You have hardly.
Huh?
You have, yes, I know my
Yeah,
dear.
but you will
Much
go.
more.
You will go soon. Huh?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
What? Tomorrow is your which time?
It's then, but I will ask them if we can go a bit later because I want to attend the lecture.
So you say.
Yeah, maybe I'll come back afterwards and do it.
Thank you, honey, for everything. Sorry for you paying the.
You don't have to apologize. It's everybody and it's not just
Hare
Thank you for the breakfast, it was really nice.
Thank you.
Also, your sweater is down in the kitchen,
Mine?
your sweater.
Yeah, I know. No, thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna.